think I've got it now. Let's see. Check on my other side here. Give me just a moment. Hey, finally. My boomer ass finally figured out how to do this. Let's go ahead and hello. Welcome. Go ahead and just gonna kind of hang out, chill, and work on building up this Psycho Gundam Mark II. Went ahead and got all the pieces clipped out, and most of the nubs and everything sanded. There's a few spots I haven't touched yet, but that's because I'm going to be replacing certain parts and, detailing up. But we'll get to that when we get there. So we're going to start off with the head here. Go ahead and have all these parts laid out. And I've got my nippers handy, just to go ahead and cut some of the peg connections just to make it easier to disassemble and stuff when I do get around to finally painting it. So let's see. Go ahead and start off by building these little thrusters here. And the one really nice thing about this kit is the part separation. There's a lot of pieces for a high grade, a lot of big pieces, but I think that'll just make things a lot easier when actually starting to paint. You don't have to really do too much masking. And so far, just like looking through the manual, it seems like the only real seam line is going to be on the backpack. And I'll point that out when we get to that section. But other than that, like pretty solid kit so far. A18, these just, I guess, kind of go on however you want. They're all the same parts. This kit did take me a while to clean up. Mainly just because holiday season, stuff like that here, so kind of had to just knock out some sections at a time. The legs especially took what felt like forever to actually get, prepped and stuff like that, and having to do it basically twice. The rest of the kit though, no, went by pretty smoothly. Even the eyes. I really like the fluorescent pink that they molded these in. Actually looks really nice. and how kind of thin eyes look. It does come with a sticker, and the sticker is uh, thicker. Like it makes the eyes like slightly wider, but I don't know. I kind of like the really thin look you get with just the plastic piece. Um, okay, and then that'll just slide down into here into M11, just like that. Okay, and it is really nice. You do get the destroyed head, which kind of shows off this detail more, but you actually get like the actual mechanical details of the eye sensors in the back here. Um, you're not going to see any of that in the regular build, but you do have that option if you decide to use like the destroyed head mode. And that just fits into this back piece. And the one thing, because I was kind of playing around and testing out how some of the pieces connect. The one good and bad thing is the fit is very snug. Everything seems like it's extra secure. Um, but if you're going to be fully repainting the kit, that can sometimes be a little bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do throughout this build is just kind of clip these nubs just a little bit, kind of like at a little bit of an angle. And we'll go ahead and so once paint and everything like that gets on them, they'll still have their uh, they'll still have that nice grip and fit to them. It's just easier to go ahead and break everything back down, um, and no risk of like breaking anything when I actually finally get around to assembling it painted. And then we've got this piece. And so we'll go ahead and this, oh, maybe if I turn it the right way, fits into the side like that. And then you got the other side, and it does have a little bit of a peg. Go ahead, clip that. If things do end up getting a little too loose, even after paint, I mean, a drop of glue will just take care of that. And go ahead. Oh, let's see what's not going. There we go. Get that nice and in there. Like that, they went ahead and hid that seam as a panel line here as well. That's a lot of the kit has that, where everything's kind of just missed a piece. Everything, for the most part, if there is a seam, it's hidden as a panel line. And I really like when Bandai has our back like that. There we go. And next we'll go ahead and get the actual face cover. And nothing really worry about having to clip there or anything. Just get on there. And got pretty nice little, it's hard to see, it is very like small, but some good like mechanical detail like in the venting areas, just good part layering basically. Go ahead. I did go ahead and thankfully you get some backups of these, but the V fins, I went ahead, clipped off the uh, safety nubs and got those all nice and sanded flush and sharpened up. So and actually, let me pull that out because I can already tell when we get to painting, those may be a little bit troublesome. So go ahead, clip them just a little bit and angle, and get this one too. There we go. And like I said, you do thankfully get spares. So if you do break them, no worries. You can always try again. Um, this little piece. I was so scared when I was building this that I was going to lose this little red section for the mega beam cannons in the head. And thankfully, too, separating this part when I get around to doing the painting and everything will be pretty easy. Just poke it right out through there. No finagling or anything like that. We'll go ahead. We'll even clip this little tab just a bit, and just enough to kind of there. So already got the head and everything. Pretty quick little snap up at that. Let's see what else. What next do we move on to? I guess it's going to be the main body, the torso. I'm going to go ahead and just set the head over there for now. And go ahead, dump out some of these. Dump out the parts and everything there. And do some rearranging. Myself organized here. I know I've got everything kind of not very well organized, but it's a high grade for the most part. I mean, besides like maybe a few little pieces like this little tiny yellow detail, pretty simple kit. Nothing really complicated. It's not a very complex kit or anything like that. It does have a transformation, and I may transform it. If not today, maybe like on the next live stream, just to have done it. But for the most part, it's if you built a high grade, then you'll be okay building this. So we're gonna start with G7. It's this purple piece here, and let's see, where's the other neck section? That's the middle. That's for one of the beam cannons. But oh, there it is. And okay. And so it wants you to put it in kind of backwards at first and then turn it. I don't know if that actually locks anything, or maybe it does. Let's see. Does it lock it in? Yeah, I guess it does have some kind of, okay, I see now. Yeah, that locks it in, because if you'll, you can't really see probably on camera here, but it's a ball joint, but the ball isn't completely spherical. There is a bit of a flat section. That's one thing about this kit. I noticed when going through the manual and cleaning everything up, it's a lot of locking. There's a lot of locking gimmicks to keep everything nice and really sturdy. Go ahead, put the collar. That'll just slot in like that. Let me see. Yeah, just kind of slots in. Boom, like that. Grab these yellow sections here. And those will just snug fit right. Not even snug fit, but just kind of fit down in there. Oh, and since we've already gotten to these pieces, pieces like, where's the other side? Ah, there it is. So like these little cabling bits, in the next stream, I'm going to be going through and replacing all of these with wire and spring and stuff like that. So I didn't really worry about cleaning up. There is like a mold line, a little bit of a mold line, and a nub mark on here. I didn't really worry about cleaning these up too much because, again, I'm going to be replacing them. And there's not that many, like, actually, the bulk of them are in this section anyways, but it's all these. I think the only ones that are going to be really complicated are going to be on the torso section. But other than that, that shouldn't be too bad. Give me just a second. Okay. And so these will pop just into there like that. That one in there. And just fit that over. And then these ball joints. Yeah, again, these will be fairly simple to replace with just wire, spring. I'll probably do wire for these, and then maybe metal spring for these, and definitely wire for these. These probably have to drill out a lot of sections. No, we'll get to that when we get there. Okay, and then some of the frame detail part here, and where the plug-in for the lower half of the body will be. Just go ahead and fit that. And then this should just had it backwards. There we go. That just kind of rests in there. And got this other section. And I may go ahead and just clip that a little bit. Clip that one a little bit. And there we go. Get myself all turned around here. just, there we go. Okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. No, no, I think I'm doing it right. Up and just like that. There we go. Okay. And then we'll get these lower sections. There. And up like that. This facing in there. I'm not gonna worry about clipping these or anything. This can all be painted as one solid piece. And I'll get a little bit more into the paint scheme idea I have for this a little bit later. But I think it'll be, well, I hope it'll be pretty cool. Let's see. It should be a pretty, they're supposed to be good turn. Is this, no? Should just kind of snap right down in there, but doesn't really seem to be. Let's try, ah, there we go. It's because I didn't have it closed all the way. There, nice little snug fit. And I'm gonna move on to this next section. And these purple flat parts. Let's see. Okay. Some nice little detail in here for like the chest vents. And those will actually have that upside down. Go in like that. And these just pop right in there. Both sides like that. And where are they at? Let's see. Nope, not that piece. Yeah, that piece. And you got these two sections here, and those get layered up with these red pieces here. I'm trying to think. Okay. I'm gonna kind of just keep them a little bit in. Well, actually, that shouldn't be too hard to pop back out. I can get like a little toothpick or something. They're not really squished in there or anything. And same there. Yeah, just like little color separation, like the little accents like that on here, just those are really nice. And then those, let's see, what's the fit like on there? Is it gonna snap or is it gonna, yeah, these we may actually need to cut just a little bit. And we'll just kind of cut that a little bit of an angle. And that should make removing those, reapplying those a little bit easier when we get around to painting. Easy peasy. And then we're going to go ahead and build up the center section for the core mega beam cannons. And just 2 sets like that. And again, I like how they design most of this kit. It's easy to kind of take a lot of these parts, separate these parts back out when breaking it down and painting it and everything. And so here, is that? Nice little color separation, yellow, and then the yellow's hollowed out. And so then that, you'll have to paint the little tabs in here black or whatever, but yeah, those look really nice. It's in there. Okay. Didn't think it was in there at first, but that's in there good. And maybe if I actually pay attention to the manual when putting this stuff together. Boom. I got the little center chest cannons in there. And we'll do some more layering up with these sections. And also, yeah, A22. And so it goes in just like that. These will slide in here. And let's go ahead. Cut that tab and cut that tab also. And there we go. Cool. Pieces all nice and set up. And then we have some little accent details, these little red, and that's where the tiny little yellow sections are going to go as well. So this one should just kind of slide right up in like that. Okay. Cool. It's kind of little, it doesn't fit like flush down in there, it seems. It's just kind of a little bit raised, but fits pretty nicely and securely. And then we got these little these little yellow detail pieces, and those should just slot right in there. And nope, putting that in wrong. There we go. There we go. Got that all nice and finished. And that will connect right into here. And got this next. Where's that part at? Oh, this red section here will just fit right over here. Clicks down like so. And that part may be a little tricky one disassembling. Nope, never mind. You can just poke it right out through there. These last little yellow details here should just slot. Oop, wrong slot. They slot on these sides, just down in like that. And there. And then this purple section will then just slide into the grooves here. Cool. And let's see. Then we're going to turn that around. I got some more of the mechanical detail parts, and these will just hook right into there, snap in, and now we're going to start building up some of the shoulder sections. And I think I should probably need all those, this, and this, and these, and these little yellow details. Okay. And so this top section here, and these purple pipe detail bits will just slide right like that. I am going to have to not just drill, I'm going to have to obviously cut this section, and then cut and sand away for this section to kind of fill in this gap here. But then I think the actual wire details I'll be able to most likely fit into the body somewhere. I'll probably have to drill a couple holes for that as well, but I'll see here in just a moment. Or if not, I mean, I can always replace those with just metal rod and bend to shape and basically get kind of the same effect. And this section, this little underside details, and go ahead, click that. And these little tabs here. Go ahead and clip those down just a little bit. If anything, I can always probably just clip those away, sand out that detail, and have like this little bit of hole in everything. Well, it could just be a detail on its own. Cool. That's all set up, and then this should just snap in. There we go. Slides down just like that. And you build two of those, so let me go ahead. I'm going to do the same on this side. Go and clip these little sections. so. There, and so some parts of this I can't tell if all of what normally would be vernier details are actual just mega beam cannons and what's a vernier. I know pretty sure the ones on the backpack are verniers, but like when I look at the box art and everything kind of looks like a mega beam cannon the way that it's illustrated. But and then those will just kind of clip up under here. There we go. And let's see. And then these side bits here. Okay. And so we'll just do this as the right side. That just slides and like that, folds over. And then do the same thing on this side. Boom, folds over. You got them like that. And then we connect these two sections. Let's see. Yeah, and those just slide into the track here. Looks like. Okay, do not push as far as it'll go. Leave it kind of like that. And then, okay. So let me go ahead, kind of clip that peg there. Clip these little pegs a little bit. And that should actually bring that forward just a little bit. I think I might have had it a little too far. And there we go. And do the same on this side here. Go. And then we're going to build arm connection sections. So we need these, and these here. And so pay attention. Little tab needs to be facing up top. It just pops in like that. This should just pop in like so. We'll do the same on this side. Two sets of those. And there. And then these will each get a cover here, and then those will, yeah, those just kind of slide right in. Nice and easy. Okay. And get this back section fitted in. I'm going to go ahead, clip that nub here, clip these just a little bit. Yeah, same with this piece. Again, if you're just building this straight, I think you got a pretty solid kit. I don't think this thing's going to be falling apart, or at least from like other builds I've seen of this too. Yeah, pretty solid kit all over. Let me see what's not fitting in just right. Is that not? Ah, there we go. Okay. And same with this side. There. And that's all nice and solid in there. And then another section that I'm gonna want to do some modification. It shouldn't be too hard of a mod to make. Essentially just going to cut away the cables. We'll cut that little tab section maybe. Same here, just drill into that area. I may have to put a piece of plow plate where that little tab area is, but that shouldn't be the hardest thing to modify, and I think it'll just look better than the plastic. So for those, and those come off pretty easily. I think might as well go ahead and just do a little snip here. And a little snip. Yeah, okay. And then we'll go ahead, fit this on one side, fit this on the other. And then this was the section where I noticed I'm probably going to have to do some kind of either seam removal, or I'm going to modify this part. I can either turn this into a panel line, or I may try something a little different with that. And over my chair by accident. And let's see. So this section will come under here like so. And should just boom, snap like that. And then same with this other side, but let me go ahead and clip these pegs. just like that. And then this purple section will just like so. And this red section will just slide in over that. And yeah, and then you can kind of see here that seam line that I'm talking about. Pretty noticeable little gap. But if I was to seal it, it's gonna make painting this detail a little bit of a pain. So I have an idea of maybe doing either converting it into a panel line, which even that may not be the best idea because kind of a decent little gap. Or I'm going to take some plow plate and glue it to one side, and that way when you sandwich these two pieces together, it'll be kind of covering and be like an extra little arbor detail or whatever. But we'll get more into that when I actually start customizing this kit. Cool. Now we got the torso section pretty much all done up. I think the only part of this, it should be a little bit more flush, I thought. Let's see. Yeah, this should be what's not. What is not letting it close all the way? Oop. Guess you gotta kind of really snap that piece in. Snapped in so hard to knock these pieces out. That's good to know that they will come out easily at least. Okay. There we go. Now we got it all nice and solid there. Kind of set that over here to the side. And next we're going to go ahead and start building up the arm units. Got these all separated here. And go ahead and get some of these pieces all separated by their color. Those details. Okay, so we'll go ahead and build up these little hinge sections here. This blue section here. And so that should just fit right in there. And cool. this little armor detail. I think, if I remember right, there's two copies of this section, this little side armor piece. One without, one that's basically just solid here, and there's no little hinge detail. If I think that's for the transformation in this one. I'm not sure if that's from, what was it? It's like the Build Fighters kit or something that they had put out. Not sure if it was for that, but that is an option. I think you could use with this. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at it again. But I just went ahead and prepped this one. I may go back and clean those up and use those instead, but again, I'm not sure yet. That just pops in there. Once I paint this, I don't ever plan on transforming it, so we'll see. And then this section here, and it should get one of these in canon details. The only stickers for this kit, aside from like the eyes, is for the center of a lot of these yellow details. But not really, I don't really think those are necessary to use, even if you were just straight building this kit, because, I mean, you could just take a little dab of black paint or a Gundam marker or something and take care of that really easily. And it would just look a lot better. And this one goes down in here. These I may have to drill the backs out of when removing them, but that won't really be a hard process. Okay, and so this part here just fits in like so. Side armor panel, go right up under that. Okay, and let's get there. I'm going to go ahead because this will obviously go in here. And let's go ahead and make that connection area. Where'd it go? Here we are. So this piece into, is it? No, not that. Where is it? There we go. It's right in there. Let's see. Because what is this section going to be? You know, it says don't cut, but again, we're going to be painting. We want to make sure things are as easy as possible to attach and unattach when we do that. So yeah, much easier, and it's still pretty secure. And we'll go ahead and not that section, this side. And then this, we'll just tab in here, and that's got a cool little, looks like it's got a nice little locking, sliding and locking mechanism. So we'll slide that over lock it in, and turn like so, right? Or am I? No, like that. And then slide it back over. Okay. And then this piece looks like, let's see here. So this, then, okay. There's a little tab here. You slide like that. And again, go ahead and make our life a little easier down the road. Cut some of these pieces back. And then take this section from earlier and just like so. And that should just fit nice and snug right there. And there we go. This little detail here will fit right in there. And then we'll close up that side with this. And clip, clip. What's not lining up? That's good. Well, that fits just like that. And there we go. Okay. It should be good just right there. And then these two sides will just sandwich on into each other. Make sure that's all nice and lined up. There we go. Yeah, I guess that's just the main thing with this kit, is just making sure you got everything nice and lined up. The transformation definitely makes it a little bit more complex than, actually, hold on. Go ahead, see if I can kind of undo this section for just a second. Even with clipping those. Just a little tight. Why can't I get that section here snug? It's fitting there, but then when we get to here on this side, it doesn't want to go all the way in. What's going on? That's fine, that's fine. See if that kind of looks a little better. It's like the groove section there, isn't it? Okay, guess that's good. That goes in there. That goes back in like that. And this side should be all set. Yep, cool. And we'll go ahead and start building down on some of these lower arm sections. So you got here, and where you at? Let's see, am I missing? I'm missing a section. Double check something real quick. And dump this other arm out. Yeah, I guess I missed a piece of one of the arms when I was clipping everything out. Ew. Okay. No, there's that one. That one's fine. And there's that piece I'm looking for that arm. I guess I must have not clipped that piece out for this section. Oh, 1 second, I've got it actually put up. Yep. See it right there in the bag too. First part I see. So ahead, clip those nubs just a bit. 1 second, we can fix that in just a couple seconds, actually. And completely didn't even, I cut it for one arm and just didn't do it for the other one. Just completely missed that. And that should be good there. All right, back on track. And that should just clip in like there. Actually, see if I can sand that nub just a bit more. It looked like it got there we go. And let's go ahead and give it a little buff as well. Cool. All right. Now we're back. Boom. Just like that. And these sections here will feed through the side on the other side, but good old handy dandy clipping technique. And some of these side little details as well. And again, handy dandy clipping. Make sure that's all good there. And yeah, should be nice and easy to remove and paint separately too. Now, there we go. Cool. And this purple section here has this other section just kind of slide down, just like so. And I want to say, no, that's not for the shield. What is this for? There's a little bit of a super tight fit though. What is, I guess that has to be for part of the transformation, I think, if I had to guess. Because the shield, I didn't even worry about messing with the shield just because it's cool. Doesn't really do much, and when it's attached to the unit as the like Minoski flight craft, I don't know, it doesn't look that cool. It is really cool that the kit gives it to you though. because if I remember right, it wasn't in the show, if I remember right. Yeah. But then we're gonna take this section here, and this just tabs in like that, and this other section here will pop in just like so. Okay, and that'll be pretty easy to remove if needed. And then we have this other side here, which for the most part, anything that sandwiches together, I'm just going ahead and clipping those nubs just a little bit short, just to make it hopefully somewhat easier to avoid any kind of breaking when I get around to it. Then these, yep, and again, because once we start adding layers of paint and stuff around it, it's definitely going to make some of these sections a little tricky. And we got this red detail here that should fit just around the back like that. Nice, and will be nice and easy to remove for painting too. You can just poke it straight through. And then this section here, boom. And then take this little armor section here and should go in just like so, like that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and clip those. And pop on. Yep. Pop like that. And this section here. Okay. I know what this is for now. And then yeah, let's go ahead. That's for when the hands come down and the beam sabers can come out. Go ahead, clip that, and then this should just fit nice in like that. And cool, got that lowered on. And then that section fit down there. Take this, make sure it's going in right. This is where I think this is for the shield tab, now that I think about it. I will just fold down. Honestly though, if I would rather, because like I said, I'm not using the shield. I almost just wish this piece was just a mirror of this one, but oh well. Because this also doesn't seem to Unless I'm just, no, that's right, because it should be kind of like that side. Yeah, I guess that is right. Okay. And then let's go ahead, clip some of these. And this side here. Oh, almost forgot. And the hand sections I'll build a little later after we get the arm, but hey, we now have an arm. It's actually got like a pretty decent little bend to it, and the drop down and slide out for the crap, and shouldn't be. Let's see if I can just put that back in without having to take the whole thing apart. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, that section will drop down and then just turn, and then you can stick one of the beam blade effects down in there. Cool. Nice. Cool little gimmick. Not going to be taking advantage of it or anything with this build, but yeah, nice that it's there. For some reason, I just never really like the beam effect parts. Like, I know a lot of people used to complain when they'd come like as like a toothpick or like in just the regular polystyrene plastic. I personally wish they did. I wish they didn't come in that kind of soft material. But that's strictly because I like to paint my kits. For people who don't paint and stuff like that, just get you a nice like glass vial or something, and you can really brighten them up, make them look, you know, awesome. Cool. Let's go ahead. Let's get this other arm snapped up, and since we already know where some details go, let's just go ahead. Boom. I guess I could have just doubled up when I was building the arms, but you know what? Take our time, have some fun, enjoy the process here. There it is. Go ahead, but we can kind of at least speed run some stuff here now that we know what's going where, what's doing what. So that's all good. Those. And should be fine with that. Some of this stuff I'll just go ahead and get snapped into place. That's good, that's good, that's good. That's good. Go ahead. Clip the nubs here. And Boom. Let's see. That should be good. That's fine. It's good there. And okay. And any other ones that come across, I'll just deal with as we go. So once again, let's go ahead, get these sections here. Where'd you go? There. And boom. That one's good. And there. That goes in like that. That goes in just like that. And then this section here. And that just snaps in like so. Boom. And those pieces are good. We can actually go ahead and fit that in there, and fit that in there, and this, and where's that purple piece? There it is. These sections, like so. And just like that. And where'd it go? Yep, there's that. Let's go ahead. Put those nubs down. And okay, so boom, 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 boom. Just like that. And then you take this piece here. Do it backwards. Let me make sure I did that right. Get myself all turned around. So in, right, in, in, turn, like that. Okay. Just like that. And then we want to take this section, and this should just plug right in there. That plugs in there like so. Right. Plugs in like that. And we take the other half and secure it in just like that. Cool. And go ahead and sandwich those together. Right. There. Give me 1 second. This one. Pop this apart for just a second. Without, I got a part separator here, but should be able to get it. Okay. Oh. Locks in place. Good. And then this. Should. Want to fit right. What is that's all secured in. Why is this not wanting to? Fit in nice and snug. snapping everything over here. Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't want to stay in nice and secure. I mean, I know I clipped the tabs and everything, but I wasn't really expecting it to be that big of a pain. Like that should lock just like that. Somehow I fixed it. I don't know what I did or how I did it, but okay. Finally just lined up. All right, enough BSing. What was that? Okay, lower on. So this section and this section here, this little piece tabs in there. These two sandwiched together. Cut, 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 and cut. And then this will tab in through there, right? Yep. And this one will cut some of these just a little bit. There we go. Boom. And then we'll get these side details put in. And oh, I see what I did wrong here. Just kept wondering why that was so loose. just having all kinds of mishaps today. There we go. Okay. I take it back. The arm sections for this kid are actually, I guess, a little tricky. Just pay extra close attention, I guess. Anyways, back to where we were. Slide that down in there. Take this part here, this part here, that, tabs in there, and this tabs in there, and then boom, boom, boom. And so, like so. This, like so. Like so here. Should be good like that. And take these sections. We'll go ahead and do a little cut. And cut. And that around here. So this here, and then this here. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this section here. These clip in just like so. This clips in here. And boom, we have our arms. And I think I'll go ahead and build up the hands real quick because they're pretty straightforward and simple. I'll get the hands built up and then I'll probably save the lower sections and everything for tomorrow's stream. I think it's getting kind of late over here, so yeah, let's go ahead. We'll finish this up and then we'll do a part 2 tomorrow. And so for the fingers and everything, I mean, most of these parts are exactly the same on every side, so we can go ahead, just put those little wrist joints in there, and then each one of these just slots in like that. The longer tip, there's 2 sections. There's these little stubby ones and the, oh, nope, that's the other thumb one. Yeah, like this. These somewhat longer, skinnier ones. These for the 4 fingers, and then these stubbed ones go right there on the thumb. These are pretty straightforward. Boom. Have pretty good articulation in each one of them. And then you just cap off here. And yeah, there you go. Boom. Slots in. And like so. And initially, when I first started breaking into the kit and taking a look through the manual and stuff like that, I have these 1/100 scale round finger resin hands from I think it's HDM. I think that's the name of the company. And I had the master grade Gyaradoga's beam rifle. And I was thinking about using those and everything, but I do want to try and enter into GBWC this year. I still gotta look into that and see what my options are going to be since I'm here in Europe now. And don't think you can do like resin, third-party 3D parts like that or anything. And also the beam rifle, even though it's for a pretty big size master grade, it still looks kind of dwarfed by even this kit, so opted to just not even worry about it. And then that'll go in there, and each of these nice and tight in there so it's not all loose. And then each of these, I think these are all pretty much, they're all the same, and should just cover in there. But again, we're going to cut the tabs, make this easier for painting later. So that's one hand. These are all articulated, like that first bottom part of the knuckle. So just like that. Cool. Yeah. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Go ahead, slide the thumb, finger, 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 and finger, clip, clip, and clip. And then just boom. Try and straighten those out a little bit. And you can go ahead, just fit those. And another thing with the resin hands, not the biggest modification, but the ball joint that fits into the wrists on here, I'd have to cut that ball off and do some surgery and stuff like that to get those resin hands to fit, because even those are still pretty small. But yeah, hey, at least we've gone ahead, and I think if I remember right, you have to twist, high five, and twist. Those come down. The head, yeah, the head also. When I was looking at the manual, I was like, why does it go on like this? But put the head on. Attach the head, and then you have to, well, we'll do that in a second. You have to twist it as well. There we go. Okay. And so, reattach that. And so, gone ahead and at least gotten the all the upper body sections done. Oh man, this is a really solid feeling kit. Like, it doesn't really feel like it's going to be flopping or like losing any kind of yeah, just not really going to be like flopping or anything like that. Really, really sturdy feeling. And I think especially after, well, that piece is definitely going to need to be glued in, I think, in the end. Especially after painting and stuff like that, yeah, this kit's not going to be really moving. And it's also not going to do much. Articulation's not bad in it, but I mean, I don't really know what kind of poses people would want to be putting this in. It's not really like going to be pulling off any kind of super crazy dynamic, you know, over the top poses. Nor do I think in reality it would need to. Kind of doesn't need to worry about aiming or anything like that. It kind of just fires everything off, and that's it. Yeah, I'll probably go live tomorrow. I'll let everyone know on Instagram when that is, and I'll also have the video saved on my YouTube page. And we'll go ahead and kind of finish up the rest of the kit tomorrow. Get that to stay in there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and finish up the legs because those are gonna take a second. We'll finish up the backpack, and we'll do the torso as well, and then we'll start getting into the real fun stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call it, and I'll see y'all later.